Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the Heritage Show with myself, Shakil Garda. I wish all of you a Mubarak Ramadan and happy to have all of you with us this afternoon. Today, we're going to be speaking to Hafid Ayoob Dadabhay, a local of Roshni who is now living in Cape Town, but somebody whose heart is closely connected to Al Aqsa and one who often facilitates the travels of other South Africans to that holy land, which is currently under extreme pressure um, in terms of access to, access from, and for locals and international people to take benefit from the spirituality and the sacredness of that particular part of the world. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you, Hafid Ayub, and it's a very big pleasure to have you with us this afternoon.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for having me.
It's a pleasure. I mean, itikaf is something that is highly encouraged. Of course, as a young child, you grow up seeing these curtains going up in the mosque, where you grow up where you often go for tarawih, and you wonder what it is. For some people, they may have had parents that were in itikaf while they were growing up, and they had to go and visit their father or brother or family member and so on. Others would have never thought of doing it until lockdown happened and people were deprived from going to the mosque, and then perhaps people felt next time, you know what, I would like to go because I would never want to have a time where I won't be able to do this. And so we become more appreciative of the opportunities that are granted to us through different phases of our lives and different phases that the world and the Ummah community goes through as well. So itikaf on its own, what are the benefits? What are the injunctions? Perhaps I won't expect that it be quoted directly, but why is itikaf something that's so important for us to do, even in our local masajid? And then later on, looking at the concept of the fardul kifaya and how that is fulfilled by the mutakifs. But then obviously we move on from there to talk about Al Aqsa itself and how the itikaf to Aqsa has come about for South Africans to be part and parcel of, inshallah.
So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Itikaf, basically, the idea of itikaf is sitting in the masjid for 10 nights, you and your creator, spending as much time, making as much ibadat. That's what Sunnat itikaf is all about. The benefits are tremendous. Here in South Africa, we sit for Sunnat itikaf. Like you said, we sit with tents and stuff like that. Each person is secluded. It's his personal time between himself and his creator. And it's very similar in Masjid Al Aqsa. Obviously, the only difference is in Masjid Al Aqsa, there's no tents as such. There's no partitioning where each person sits individually. But last year, for the first time in Masjid Al Aqsa, we've had guys bring their own two-man tents and pitching up, which is also allowed. So, alhamdulillah, that is the idea of itikaf. Everybody should at least try once in their life to sit for itikaf. If not in their local masjids, in their local masjids, and if they can, then obviously try to sit in Medina or in Mecca and in Masjid Al Aqsa as well.
So we've seen the benefit of spending time in seclusion when COVID happened, and we as families and people had to spend a lot of time on our own, in our thoughts, as intrusive as those thoughts sometimes can be. It's not something easy, but itikaf obviously is a different focus. It's while you're fasting, it's in the masjid, so you do have some interaction with other people as well. But you're obviously spending so much more time there than you ordinarily would, so you have a lot more time for ibadah. So you, as someone that has been to Aqsa to do this and fulfill this, how have you found it to be beneficial as opposed to doing it locally, and the sacrifices that has to be made, not only financially, but also, from leaving your family to the risk of traveling, to the risk of facing what comes. I found that to be.
So basically, I always tell people that want to travel to perform itikaf in Masjid Al Aqsa, it is actually easier to perform itikaf in Masjid Al Aqsa than it is in your local masjid in South Africa. Simple reason being, in your local masjid in South Africa, you confined to the masjid. You've got your small corner, you make your ibadat, and like I said, you confine to the masjid. In Masjid Al Aqsa, it's a bit different in the sense that the whole compound, Masjid Al Aqsa is a massive compound, and the whole compound is part of the masjid. So imagine the guys, when you sit for itikaf in Masjid Al Aqsa, we use a masjid called Marwani Masjid for itikaf. That's where we sleep, that's where the guys will have suhoor and stuff like that. But you're free to move around. You can come out of that masjid. You can go into Qibli Masjid. You can go into Barak Masjid. You can go into the Dome of the Rock in Kubar al-Sukhra. So you're free to move around. You're not confined to a small area. The whole compound is masjid. So you can go sit under a tree after Asr and read your Quran there. So the differences are vast between performing itikaf in South Africa and performing itikaf in Masjid Al Aqsa. Number two is, you said that it's difficult. In fact, it's actually easier for us as South Africans to travel to Masjid Al Aqsa than it is for the Palestinians to visit Masjid Al Aqsa. So for us, it's basically, booking a ticket, getting a few nights accommodation before itikaf, and the night of Eid that you need accommodation. Other than that, it's much easier for us to perform itikaf in Masjid Al Aqsa than it is for the Palestinians to. So in that sense, that's the reason we advise people and promote Masjid Al Aqsa, is because it's so much easier. And the mere fact that the Palestinians need us to come to Masjid Al Aqsa to help them fill it up, because they're not allowed. They literally live 2-3 kilometers away and they can't visit Masjid Al Aqsa. So in that sense, it is much easier for us to travel and to perform itikaf in Masjid Al Aqsa than it is for the Palestinians. And itikaf is much easier in Masjid Al Aqsa than it is here in South Africa. Even the atmosphere in Masjid Al Aqsa is a bit different. Obviously, every evening iftar time, there's iftar it's like a picnic style atmosphere. The atmosphere is amazing. The tarawihs are beautiful. The qiyamul layls are beautiful. So it's well worth a trip to perform itikaf in Masjid Al Aqsa.
It sounds like, when you speak about the tree and various masajid that form part of the compound, it sounds like the ideal recipe of seclusion and of interaction and movement, and not just in a climate that's different to where we're from, among people that probably come from other parts of the world as well. Do you find many other groups of people coming in big groups together, as
yes,
one would find
with people from all around the world? So obviously the South African contingent and the contingent from the UK are big. But over the past few years, they've been Canadians, they've been people from Germany, from Netherlands, from all. So it's a melting pot of Muslims from around the world that come and perform itikaf. There's Turkish people, it's a melting pot. And the thing is that, when you're there, you're not looking at people, oh, you from here, or you from there. There's that brotherhood of Islam that we're supposed to believe in. You actually live that when you're in Masjid Al Aqsa, with the Palestinian people, with the people from all around the world. It's just a different feeling. It's a different experience.
What are some of the concerns for this year in particular, given what is currently taking place? For
there's this misconception. I mean, I was there a month ago, and a month ago when I went, when people heard I'm going, they said, "No, Ayoob, but why are you going? You're not going to be able to get in. They're not allowing South Africans into Masjid Al Aqsa. Since the ICJ, this thing and that." That's all fallacy. There's no such thing. Yes, the day the court case happened with the ICJ, for one work, they didn't allow certain people in through certain doors. But other than that, we are welcome there. Yes, sometimes at the entrance they'll ask you where you're from. You say South Africa. They'll give you a funny look. They'll ask you for your passport. But there's this misconception that it's very difficult to travel to Masjid Al Aqsa. It's not. It's actually very, very easy. Yes, occasionally at the airport they'll keep us for a few hours. They'll question some people. Sometimes they just keep you just to make it a bit difficult. But it's relatively easy. There's no difficulty as such traveling to Masjid Al Aqsa. That's a fallacy, and it's time that we put it out there to people that it's actually very, very easy to travel to Masjid Al Aqsa for us as South Africans.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you are speaking of it in such positive terms, because I think it's important for those misconceptions to be dispelled, and also to put away some of the anxieties people might have about doing so and about traveling. So it is time for people, I suppose. Do you believe that there are many people that would still intend to go now, or do you feel that whoever wanted to go has already made plans by now?
No, so Alhamdulillah, there's a lot of people. From what I gather, there's a lot of people willing to travel this year. A lot of people have been inquiring. I'm not the only person that does this. There's quite a few other South Africans do it again. Maulana Musa Badat from your guys' region there in Lenasia, he's the pioneer of this. Alhamdulillah, he's got a big group going as well. And you know, he's been doing this for much longer than any of us. So, you know, and he always gives very good advice as well, always telling people, you know, visit Masjid Al Aqsa. He's always encouraging people as well. There's few other guys that have come along over the past couple of years as well. So there's a lot of options available out there for people that want to travel to Masjid Al Aqsa. You know, although we're all doing it, we are not we are trying to get more people to visit Masjid Al Aqsa. Yes, obviously, some of us have, like Muhammad Musa Barad and myself, we generally do accommodation in the old city, whereas others do accommodation outside the old city. So it's you know, at the end of the day, I mean, when we're there, we help one another, this thing. So there's no, it's you know, like I said, our aim is just to get more South Africans to visit Masjid Al Aqsa. The thing about Masjid Al Aqsa is this, that we as Muslims have forgotten about Masjid Al Aqsa. Everybody wants to go for Umrah, go for Hajj, which we have to do, which is for us. We go for Umrah, we carry on going for Umrahs, but we have forgotten of Masjid Al Aqsa. But there's so much of benefit of visiting Masjid Al Aqsa that, you know, it's amazing that people don't realize the importance of Masjid Al Aqsa to us as Muslims.
100%. Inshallah, when we come back after the break, we'll be speaking to Hafid Ayoob further, inshallah, and discussing the importance of Aqsa on the agenda for those who wish to travel to Allah and to Allah's places on this earth, and for it not to be overlooked, inshallah, both in Ramadan and out. That is after our break, inshallah, before we conclude. So don't go anywhere and stay around, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam Media, your spiritual companion this Ramadan.
Freedom Stationery supply Marlin and Marlin Kids pens to me and my school friends. They supply just about everything we need to help us get a better education, from books to files to rulers. In fact, any any accessory we need. Freedom Stationery. Education for the nation. What does accessory mean?
Fulfill your zakat conveniently with Ashraful Aid. This Ramadan, let's make your zakat count. Ashraful Aid's zakat distribution is carefully overseen by external boards which ensures transparency and trust. Make a difference to those who really need it. Join us today to spread hope and compassion to those who need it most. Visit our website at www.ashrafulaid.org.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za. Food with love. Zakat makes it possible to establish the things that matter. It sets the foundation right for the family around the dinner table, the mothers who carry the heavy load, the children who want to play. Zakat is not just money. It is the reason why so many across the world are smiling before they sleep. Your zakat helps us continue to serve with love, with hope, because with you, we can. Give your zakat to Penny Appeal South Africa today. www.pennyappeal.org.za. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
You are listening to Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are back for the final segment of this heritage show, and in focus is Hafiz Ayoob Dadabhay, a facilitator of travelers to Al Aqsa, especially those who hope to fulfill the itikaf. So we were speaking a bit about why Aqsa should be placed back on the map in terms of places to ziyarat in the world, in terms of like alongside Hajj, alongside Umrah, and rightly put. And I think Hafiz, earlier you sort of put people at ease when you said that it's not as dangerous and difficult for us to travel there as what we might believe, despite the current uptake in violence and uptake in constraint to the local community of Palestine, especially within that region. So how does one, when speaking about logistics, what are some of the logistics people can take heed of, if there are listeners that are keen to know? Because it seems like nobody's calling in or WhatsApping us, but I suppose by the time they do listen to this, they will find out from you and what the costs are looking like at the moment, roughly.
So basically, it's very simple. You could either book with one of the agents that does the Aqsa tours. You could do it yourself. There's nothing stopping you from doing the bookings yourself. So basically, it's airfares from here to Tel Aviv or from here to Amman and then via Jordan into Jerusalem. That's the one thing. That obviously the second thing is depending on what you want to do. So a lot of people decide they want to do itikaf, but they only want to come just when itikaf is about to start. So they leave a day before, make it there for itikaf, and then leave the day. So they don't need accommodation at all. What some of us, like myself and Mona Musa Barat, we take our groups a bit earlier. We have a ziyarat included, ziyarats included in our packages and stuff like that. So it all depends on the individual. Price-wise, it also comes down to when you book your tickets, how early. At the moment, because it's close to peak season, it's close to the last 10 days of Ramadan, price tickets have unfortunately gone up a bit. So price tickets are a bit higher now than they were earlier. But no, it's still very easy. It's a matter of you can book a ticket within a day, travel the next day. It's no problem. Visas are issued on arrival, so you have no problems with that either. It's relatively easy to plan a trip to Aqsa. It's relatively easy.
So that's obviously very, very relieving to those people that are listening and watching, hoping that it's not too late for them to still make that intention and make the journey to Aqsa, inshallah. So for any of you who are listening, you can reach Salam Media, and we'll put you in touch with Hafiz Ayoob and the likes of him that are facilitating this journey. And to you, Hafiz, I assume that you are going. I didn't even ask that question, but I assume that you are going to be with your team and with your group.
Inshallah, I'm leaving on Monday. I leave a bit earlier, so yes, I leave on Monday already, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. So go safely, and in your du'as, remember us as you travel. May Allah liberate Palestine and the Aqsa precinct and its people, inshallah, and connect our hearts to that part of the world, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khair.
Inshallah, that concludes our afternoon with myself, Shakil Garda, on the Heritage Show. We discussed Thursday's iftar happening at Eminential Primary from 5:30 p.m. Please be there with your food and to share and be open to learning and gaining from the knowledge around the Palestinian struggle. And for those who are keen to go to Aqsa, you can reach out and find out how you can do that, inshallah, to do the itikaf this year, this Ramadan, inshallah. And that concludes our discussion for this afternoon. Jazakallah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I hope that you have a wonderful second week of Ramadan from the time that we reconnect next weekend, Saturday, 3 p.m., inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.